And if you can figure out how to capture that uniqueness and offer that to the world in some sort of way, that is where you're going to find massive success, and that's where you're going to find purpose. That's where you're going to find happiness. This is the stuff you won't learn in school. This is the stuff that people don't tell you, and this is what we're going to talk about in this video. Anything's possible. You live in a world where if you can dream it, you can do it, right? As a kid, anything you're dreaming, anything you're saying, you think you can do, and you can do it in real life. But the thing is, the only reason we go from being a kid and believing that to being adults and no longer thinking we can do all this crazy stuff in life is because society smushes it too fast. And if you get caught up in that without noticing it, it'll happen to you as well. And you'll be another person who goes their whole life without ever taking a risk or pursuing the thing that they want to pursue, and they take it to their grave with them instead of actually trying it at some point. And although that's harsh, although that's sad, it is the reality. But the point is, you shouldn't ever stop dreaming. You don't want to just live in the same world every single day where you're never breaking free or coloring out of the lines or getting outside the box. You're just like this, just straight arrow, just same exact thing, same routine, same stuff going on, same job, same schooling, same problems, same thing. You're just getting up every day and doing the same thing over and over and over and hoping that your life's gonna change. It's not gonna change. You need to make a change. It's one thing, and the one thing that keeps us from getting to the point in which we're just so, in these motions that we're just like a robot is creativity. Creativity is the one thing that keeps us from just being a robot. A human can be creative. A human can really problem solve really well, right? There's AI now that can do that. There's AI now that can learn. But the cool part about creativity and being a human is nobody can match your creativity 100%. Yes, there's robots that can be creative now. I understand that. But there's no robot that's gonna have your exact same story, your exact same thing, your exact same experiences, your exact same, basically, makeup. And if they don't have that, their creativity is going to be different than yours, meaning you will be able to create something that is completely different from what that other person can create, simply because you have a different set of criteria that you were built off of, the experiences you went through, the things that you did that nobody can take away from you, that are in your mind, are not, just to be taken lightly. These things are tools. These things are really, really what we have. Our knowledge as individuals is really, really what we have that holds value. When this AI starts to go crazy and these robots and things start to come out and start to actually be working, a lot of these jobs are going to be, that don't require creativity and just require instruction, are going to be completely gone and leaving people with nothing. And at some point, people go through and do these jobs for so long that when they leave, they've already smushed all their creativity and their dreams so far that it is insanely hard for them to crawl back out. Not saying that they can't, but it is insanely hard. So you don't want to let yourself get there. And if you are almost there now, you want to put a stop to it right after this video, and you want to take some different action and try something different, because creativity is the one thing that is unique to you. Your creativity, what you can create, what you can think of, what you can envision that others can't, is unique to you. And if you can figure out how to capture that uniqueness and offer that to the world in some sort of way, that is where you're going to find massive success, and that's where you're going to find purpose. That's where you're going to find happiness. That's where you're going to find, the real you. Life is not just about money. Life is not just about love. Life is not just about health. Life is not just about good people. Life is about all of it. So you want to have all of it, and you want to be able to understand all of it. And that's why life is such a beautiful thing, because no matter what you're doing through your life, whether it's you're working at a job right now, whether it's you're being a good husband, whether it's you're a stay-at-home mom, whether it's you're a new parent, whether it's you're, somebody who is just, in 5th grade watching this, whether this is somebody who's in 8th grade, a high schooler, wherever you're watching this from, whoever you are, we all have things that are unique about us that we could share with the world, that could change the world in a way that could not have been changed if we didn't offer that thing to this world. And I know that a lot of you guys watch this and might think, oh, but that's not me, that's not me. Trust me, I don't have anything, I don't have anything. And I'm here to tell you that you do. And I'm here to tell you that that's not up for debate. It's an actual fact, because unless somebody's walked the same exact footsteps as you, they do not have the same exact makeup as you. It doesn't matter what any robot gets made or what happens. They do not have the same makeup. There's not the same things that have happened to them that can make them perform at a level or on the same level as you, because you've been through different experiences. Anything else can be taken away. Your Rolex, your car, your house, your whatever you have, your Louis Vuitton belt, it can all be taken away. One day, if shit hits the fan, that's not gonna matter, right? That's not gonna matter for you if you've got real big problems in your life. Your designer clothes aren't gonna matter, right? That stuff's gonna get taken, it's gonna get gone, right? That stuff can just get ripped away from you in a second. What's in your mind, what's in your head can't get ripped away from you. People can't take that from you. They cannot take anything from you. Nobody can take that from you. That is where your value is. Your value's not in your pockets. Your value's not on your wrist. Your value's not on your neck. It's good to have cool watches, nice clothes. Trust me, I've got nice clothes and I love, doing nice stuff. But at the end of the day, that stuff is not who you are, and that stuff is not where your value's at, or really should be anything that you value really at all. Where your value is and who you really are is what's inside of here. And the cool part about that is no matter if you've been through a really easy situation your whole entire life, or you've been through a really hard situation your whole entire life, there's another person out there, and there's other people out there who are going through hard and some easy situations in life as well, who would love to have some help at points in life, I'm sure. And you, no matter what you've been through, by sharing your stories, by moving forward an extra day, right? It doesn't matter how many people, it doesn't matter on what scale, but you will at some point inspire others to do something. And the ability we have as people to provide another person something that they can carry with them and remember forever is probably the most special thing that we carry as people. So being able to provide somebody with something special, something valuable, something that could help them, that they could take forever, is something that could impact way more than just you. It could impact that person for the rest of their life. And then they go on and teach their kid whatever you taught them, and now that person's life is impacted. And then the next person's life is impacted. And then it's just going more and more and more and more, and it's overall just a very positive thing. On the other hand, you have negatives. Negatives kind of create dead ends. When you have a negative, it creates a dead end, or it just spirals downhill for a long, long time and then hits a dead end. When you have negative things, if you're negative to people, if you're consistently mean to somebody, for example, that's just gonna consistently go downhill until it's done, right? So most of the time, negatives just consistently go downhill unless it's stopped by a positive, and it just goes downhill until it's done. If you're being mean to people, the relationship with that person is just gonna go downhill until it's done. Don't lie to yourself. Don't be mean to your girlfriend and think it's gonna make her love you more. Don't, be a dick because you think you need to be hard or be cool or be taken as a man, or don't, same goes for girls to guys, right? Same goes for everybody. Just don't be somebody who's obnoxiously rude or feels like they need to be hard or whatever. Have some pride in the fact that you don't need to be anything but yourself to be the best version of you. I mean, how'd that get lost in today's world? Really, all we are here to do is to live a life, and our only job is to be us. So let's not lose that, you guys. That's really where the real happiness comes from, is from being yourself. I know you guys see all these people on social media who are saying, oh, you need to act like this, you need to be like this, you need to, be this type of dude or this type of man, or you need to do this to your girl to, show her who's boss, right? Like, this stuff is far from necessary. What really matters is not that you're doing something that somebody else is telling you will help you get women or do whatever. And even if that does work, is that truly who you are? Do you truly want to be like that? Right? Stop just looking at people online and hearing, or seeing, this person looks cool, I want to just be that. Be who you want to be. It doesn't matter who on social media is saying this or that, or looks like this or that, or has this or that, because you actually don't know. You actually have no idea what's going on in their life. If you're just following this person and they don't know about you and you don't know them, you don't know them. So don't try to compare your life to theirs and try to, do all that, because it's just going to make you feel bad, because you'll see all the positives of their life, because all you see is their social media. So all you see is their highlight reel, but all you see of yourself is all the bad things, because we always think about the bad things that we do wrong. So how could you make a fair comparison if all you see is good from this side and all you see is bad from this side? And that's why the input that's going into your head, if it's skewed like that, it could mess you up so badly. I'm sure some of you guys sitting across on the screen right now just thought, wow, that's true. And it's because it is. If you look at these influencers, you're just seeing the highlight reel. You're just seeing all of the highlights on social media. It doesn't even have to be an influencer, it could be your friend. When you're in your life, you're seeing the real you. You're seeing all the good, the bad, and the ugly. So of course, the grass looks greener. But guess what? On either side of the grass, on either side of the yard, you gotta water the grass to make it grow. So if you water your grass over here, then you're gonna have to water your grass over there next. If you water your grass over here first, then you're gonna have to water your grass over here next. It's the same way with life. You're not just gonna get around that. You're not just gonna side hop your whole life or idea hop your whole life your way to something big. It's just not gonna happen. You have to find the thing inside of you that you are put here to do. And you'll know it. That's the best part. You'll know it. It's not something that it's not something that you'll have a trouble finding, right? When it happens, it'll come. If it hasn't came yet, then it will come in the future. And as soon as you feel it, you will know you felt it. It's not something that you can miss. But the real question is, how do you get there? Because a lot of people probably are watching this wondering, oh, I understand, I get that, but how do I find my purpose? Because I don't know what I want to do. And the best way to do this, and there is a way to do it, and this is all you need to do. You need to become the best and take pride in being the best at everything that you currently do. So everything that you currently do right now in your life, take a list, grab a pen and pencil right now if you want to, pull out your notes on your phone, and write down what you got going. What do you got going on? What are you a part of? Are you a part of some team? Do you do athletics? Do you have some goal at the gym? Do you have some goal at work right now? What do you do, right? Write down the things that you do. After you write down all the things that you do on a list, on a piece of paper, whatever it is, you guys, now after you write those things down, you're just gonna set some new goals for all of those things. And what you're gonna do is whatever goals you currently have for those different things that you do in life, right? Or if you don't have goals, you're just gonna set goals for the first time. But whatever goals you currently have or don't have, you're gonna set some new goals for each of those things. And whatever you initially think to set it at, you're gonna times it by 10. So if your goal is to, start a new business and make $1,000 next month, you're gonna make your goal to start a new business and make $10,000 next month. You're gonna do the same thing with whatever goal you're setting at the gym, wherever it is, whatever it is, set that and actually take it seriously like you're gonna hit it. Although it seems completely impossible probably, to your mind right now, it probably seems completely impossible, right? Because it is. I mean, if you've never made 10K in a month off a business, it's pretty impossible to you. I mean, I would agree. You've never done it, right? So you have to do it for a first time if you want to do it. So still, even though it seems impossible, trust me, just try to hit it. Just try to hit it. Just act like you're gonna hit it. So take action that seems impossible. Wake up earlier. Work for longer. Work out harder. Whatever it is that you're working on, do it harder, because you're trying to hit a goal that is 10 times harder than your initial goal, which you probably thought was hard already. So take it like that and just try it. Just try to do this. I know it seems crazy, but just try it. And you're gonna find out after a month of setting your goals like this and 10xing, setting your goal 10 times, you're gonna see how much further you're hitting simply because you changed your target, right? It's like if I'm shooting for the, if I'm shooting for the moon, I might land on a star, right? And I'll still be happy because I still made it out to space, right? You shoot for the moon, land on the stars, right? You hear people say that all the time. It's really true, Shoot for 10x whatever you think you can do. And a lot of times what's even crazier is you'll hit that 10x goal and you'll be like, wow. And then you'll set your goal 10x again the next month. And you might not hit it, right? But you don't get yourself down. The next month you hit that 10x goal again. And then you set it even higher, right? And you'll see that, you'll understand from doing that, that things only seem impossible if they are up to this point. And yes, if you haven't done it, then I would agree, it is impossible for you. So you thinking, making 10K a month is impossible, that's okay that you think that, because I'm sure you would, because you haven't done that. If you've never done that in your life, how are you supposed to think it's possible, other than what other people tell you? You don't actually know for yourself that it's possible if you haven't actually done it. Right? It's possible, but you don't actually have the feeling like, oh my God, I can make 10 G's a month, right? And at least I didn't. Like when I first started, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I always wanted to make 10 grand a month, but I didn't know how I was gonna do it, right? To make this possible, what I have to do is try to do it. So set your goal at 10 times. So write down the list of all the things, whatever current goals you have for all those tasks, times them by 10. Times whatever goals you currently have by 10. Do this right now. You're not gonna wait till tomorrow. You're not gonna wait for an hour. You're not gonna wait till, next week. You're not gonna wait till next month. You don't need to wait for none of this stuff. Waiting is a game that is very dangerous to play, because tomorrow is never promised. And when you live in a world where tomorrow is never promised, if you're constantly waiting, you can kind of probably see how that could go, in a negative direction fastly if you don't know what you're doing. And if you know what you're doing, you're probably not waiting for that reason. So don't wait till tomorrow. Start today. Write down what you currently have going on. 10x all those current goals. Write them back down. Write down these goals in the morning, when you wake up, and right before you go to bed. And I promise you, it will change your life. Trust me. The reason I'm saying that is because one time I did that, right? Once upon a time I did that when I felt like I had no direction in my life. And I just started with finding one staple, because all you need is a staple. You need one thing to hold on to that could pull you out of this rut. Because if you're in this rut where you're just falling, right? I said negatives, they just free fall, right? You're in this rut where you're just falling. Then a positive, boom, stops it, right? All you need is one. And then you need to stack more on top. But initially, you just need one. So you just need that one thing to stop you from free falling downhill. You need one staple. Something that you can do each day no matter what, right? Don't make it something that you're not gonna do. Yes, this thing should be a little difficult, but it should be something that you can do every day. For example, write down your goals in the morning and at night. This is something you can do every day. I don't care who you are, where you come from, what your hours are, what life requires you to do. If you can't discipline yourself to take 20 seconds out of your day or a minute out of your day to write down your goals in the morning and at night, how are you ever supposed to handle your life? And how are you ever supposed to achieve the things in life that you keep talking about if you simply can't even discipline yourself to do this one thing? It's nothing crazy. But that is a staple. It doesn't have to be huge. It can be that small. And it could stop you from that free fall. And it could give you that little building block. Then you add something else. Start taking cold showers, right? Boom. Then you add something else. You start working out every day. Then you add something else. Boom. Working on your business for this long every day, right? Boom. Then you add another staple. And soon you have all these morals and these staples that you live your life by. And all these principles that you live your life by, all of a sudden one day start to pay off, and you start to see consistent growth. Financially, you see consistent growth in yourself, you see consistent growth in your projects that you're a part of. And the faster you can get to that point in which you're seeing that consistent growth, because once you get to that point, it gets a lot easier. It's a lot harder. You're doing a lot more at that point. Like right now in my life, I'm doing a lot more than ever, but it's a lot easier to keep going because I have stuff in motion, right? And I already have all this knowledge from all the stuff that has been in motion to know what's really possible and how far I can really get, which is super freaking far, right? Because I've seen a little bit now. You just have to get to that point, and that point just comes from those principles. Really, it's not even the business that you choose. It's none of that. It's not the business or the idea or the thing that you choose, because that's different for everybody and based off of your passion. It's literally just about building that foundation. And all you need in the beginning is that one thing that's going to stop you from that. You got negative going downhill. You need one positive to stop it. Boom. And then you build on top of that positive with other principles. But all you need in the beginning is some foundational principles, some foundational things to start living your life by, to start seeing some sort of change. This applies to you no matter what you're going through right now. If it's you lost your job, if it's you're going through a period of depression, if it's something super tragic happened to you, if it's, whatever you're going through, this applies to you. If it's that you can't find your purpose, this applies to everybody if they want to see change in any way. And if you do a positive change, it's gonna transpire or gonna inspire positive change in your life. So if you make a negative change, just like if if all of a sudden I go from not smoking cigarettes to smoking cigarettes, that's gonna be a negative change, which is going to show a negative change in my real life, right? Over a period of time. So will a positive thing. So if I do a positive thing, like I start to write my goals down every single morning and every single night, and I do this consistently every single day, and I hold myself to it, and I take it seriously like it's a religion, right? And I do this every single day, that's gonna cause a positive change to happen in my actual life in some way, because I'm doing something different, and when you do things differently, change happens. So all you need is one. Use the goals thing if you don't have anything else, because you could do that right now. And if you don't have any goals, just what do you want to do tomorrow? Just write that down. Just morning, night, what do you want to get done? What do you want to do? What do you want to learn? Learn something new every day. Write it down. Write down your morning lesson and your nightly lesson. Just make that a staple. Have a staple that you put in your life to stop that negative. Now you've got the staple, and start building off of that. That's all that you need to do. And you need to understand that anything is possible. No matter what anybody tells you, no matter what anybody says, your teachers, your parents, your friends, I don't care. No matter what anybody says, anything is possible. There is 16 sextillion galaxies out there in the universe, and we've only explored this one Earth. And we haven't even explored all of our oceans on this own Earth that we live in. So if you think you know what's possible, or if you think your teacher or your mom or your dad know what's possible, you're very wrong. And I don't even really need to explain it. Hopefully that last sentence kind of made it clear. 16 sextillion galaxies, hundreds or thousands of planets inside of each galaxy. And we've only explored our Earth. And we haven't even fully explored our oceans on the own Earth that we live on. So for us to know what's possible and what's not is completely wrong. The only way stuff ever becomes possible is when somebody discovers it. It's not just like there were all these possible things that we just spawned with, right, on this Earth. It was just like, boom, buildings, cars, this is all possible. People made that. People pushed and shoved. People told Steve Jobs his iPhone wasn't gonna work. Think about it for a second. People told Steve Jobs that his iPhone wasn't gonna work. That the idea for the iPhone was not a good idea. More people than people that told him it was a good idea when he was first pitching the idea and first coming out with the idea, more people than not told him it was bad. You know why? Not because Steve Jobs was crazy, but because Steve Jobs was out of the circle, the cycle. All these people were in this mindset of, oh, we're comfortable with what we have. We're comfortable with our flip phones. Who's gonna wanna change from a phone like that? Who's gonna wanna change from a phone that just calls and is easy to use? Who's gonna wanna change? Steve Jobs used his creativity, stepped out of that circle, saw something that nobody else was seeing, and pursued it so fully that even though the rest of the world did not see at first, he saw his vision so clearly that he made the rest of the world see. And now look at Apple. Anything is possible if you make it possible.